We get going then. Yes. So, okay. We always get interrupted. People always join later, but thanks so much for joining this preparing for acting success Zoom workshop. I don't go to drama school. What I ask, if you can share with me at the end of the, more people are coming in now. Just let them in. If you can share with me at the end of this seminar, one thing that you're going to take away, so that I know it's been beneficial. Welcome, Dan. So I'd say, because people always start joining at different times. So excuse me at the beginning if I'm constantly distracted letting people in. So I'll just introduce myself. So I'm a screen acting coach. I've been teaching for about 17 years now, screen acting. I've taught thousands of people across the UK. My background is I worked on a number of top UK TV shows in the mid to late 90s. I created the world's first internet soap opera, Chalk Hill Lives. I trained with Hollywood's #1 acting coach, Ivana Chibuk, who trained Brad Pitt, Jim Carrey, etc. I teach her stuff through my in my immersive workshops and online drama training platform called don'tgotodramaschool.com. And I'm also a professional happiness coach teaching positive psychology and success motivation. And I've realized by merging the two, acting training and happiness coaching, I'm able to offer something unique, because a lot of drama schools, they're not teaching the sort of success mindset alongside the acting techniques. Drama schools in the UK, statistics have shown, sorry, a lot of people are joining now. Statistics are showing now that only 2% of trained actors graduating from the UK drama schools year on year end up on the West End stage. And over 90% of trained actors give up on their career aspirations within 18 months of graduating, which is shocking for me, because I think that if you're studying for years and investing up to maybe £50,000 across 3 years, you want to do something with that training. And it's shocking to know that people, they risk wasting all their expenditure and time. So that's what I'm looking to fix with my sort of drama training offering. So if you want to put in the chat, or if you want to put a hands up or something like that, how many of you have you been to proper drama schools? Have you had like professional drama school training? If you want to put it in the chat, or put a little hands up, or even come on the screen and share with us. And what I want to do with this, I think I said on the email that I sent out, this is so much better if it's a conversation rather than just one person talking. So I'm going to aim to do about 30 minutes of me talking, and then we make the rest of this workshop interactive. Okay, we can do it for the chat as well. So how many of you have been to drama school, or how many of you feel you're moving in the direction of some kind of professional acting career? If you want to let me know. Oh, okay. So Rick, I'm currently in a theatre program at university. Yeah, absolutely. That counts. So you are moving on it. That's fantastic. Brilliant. You got it. It's all about doing it. I believe in Nike. Just do it. Just do it. And find some way of just doing it. Okay. Because then you start to believe. And as we're going to look on in a moment, belief is what it's all about. And anyone else want to share? No, okay. You're unusually very shy for aspiring actors. So let's make this personal then before we get into the nitty-gritty. If you want to put in the chat as well, or talk with me on the screen, what are your biggest acting aspirations? Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself where you've decided to be an actor? Anyone want to share? Put it in the chat. Rick, you're talking so far. If you want to have a conversation with me. Anyone? Okay, Hollywood. Yeah, okay, this is good now. So we've got some answers coming through now. So So Hollywood or Broadway, the biggest goal so far. Daryl, what have you? I don't know where at the moment. That's fine. And maybe doing some for your web series. Tell us more about that in a moment. Is that a Dante? I've got a 1-year scholarship at Guildford. Okay, well done. Okay, so you've done some stuff. And what are your biggest fears? Tell me what your biggest fears are around this acting aspiration. So I think it's, this is no good if I'm just talking kind of at a screen. I want this workshop to be really relevant to you, because that's why it's worth your time, isn't it? So what are your biggest fears around all this? Yeah, hopefully you're typing away now. Learning your lines. Okay, that's good. Okay, so what about career fears? That's what I mean. Competition. Wow. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, we're getting into it now. Competition. Yeah. Okay, that's a fair one. That's a regular one. Okay, that crops up regularly. Anyone else want to share? There's no such thing as a wrong answer here, so don't feel you're going to be judged in any way. That's not what this is about. It is really to to help you steer you more in the direction of achieving what you want. Stress. Okay, Daryl, maybe if you can explain a bit more about what you mean by stress. Do you want to come on the chat with me or not? Yeah, come on the my name's Steve Surridge, by the way. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. So yeah, I'm the sort of managing director. I've got my own TV production company called Touch Life Productions. We specialize in interactive media, and also I've created this don't go to dramaschool.com, which is my online drama screen acting training membership website. And also I'm a happiness coach. So the website for that, I'll share all this at the end, is Mr. Happiness 2000. For those of you that joined a bit later, I've asked if you could make a note of one thing that you learn that you're going to take away from this workshop, and I'll ask you to share that at the end. So yeah, Daryl, do you want to share with us? Or yeah, okay, so I meant like doing a lot of stuff for my series and yet doing other projects as well, which might frustrate me. Okay, well, we can talk about stress because yeah, that's all part of the positive mental health stuff that I teach as well. So I'm going to share with you tonight then 5 pieces of acting wisdom that will prepare you to cope with your inevitable acting success. Okay, this stuff is what you could see is what you could describe as spiritual. Okay, it's the inside stuff, it's thoughts and feeling stuff, and it is absolutely essential if you are to develop true confidence and faith in yourself and the industry when entering what is seen as very much a dog eat dog, very competitive, as we heard before, industry. It can be very scary and intimidating because it asks you to pull upon all your inner resources, and if you haven't really developed them, you can blow out and write yourself off as a failure early on. Okay, is that Dante? Is that how you pronounce it? Usually we are our worst enemies, but maybe judgment along with NQs might be the worst to deal with. Okay. Sorry, my eyesight is really bad. So judgment along with so it's how you handle judgment, how you handle rejection. Absolutely. Right. So number 1 of my 5 pieces of acting wisdom: success, and this is in any field, not just acting, is all about managing your mind and your mental focus. Being aware how you talk to yourself in your head and what you believe. Okay, so does that make sense? Have any of you heard this before? Let me know. So you've got to start expecting success and focus forward. We've got the past, and some of you might have had chaotic pasts. I do believe that literally all artists have had some kind of trauma in their past, and that's kind of what has propelled you to be an artist. And artists in all fields, such as music, acting, painting, dancing. I think they're all looking to express themselves and kind of explore the, this life condition, and it is usually some kind of pressure, some kind of challenge, some trauma in the past, which has activated that in all of us. So yeah, you have to start, and that if you haven't dealt with that past trauma, if you've been told you're rubbish, if you've been in a mentally or physically abusive relationship with partners or parents, who knows, that residue can continue to haunt you and be a ghost as you grow up. And yeah, that's certainly my story. And it can limit you. You create, although the way you were treated when you were 7 or 9 and you're 21 now or whatever, you can still be responding to the world as if you're that 7-year-old or that 9-year-old. And so it is about, instead of going through life looking over your shoulder at the past and regretting, living in regret, which takes a lot of energy and it, sort of zaps your mental focus, it's about practicing thoughts looking forward, getting excited about your future, expecting success in your life, in all areas of your life, not just acting. And that's about the tools to do that, is that when you're thinking of your future, your acting career, you're thinking about it positively, thinking, I'm going to do this. I'm looking forward to being successful. I'm looking forward to showing the world what I can do. I'm looking forward to being on those Hollywood sound stages or on Broadway, as Ricky has said. I'm looking forward to most of my time, my career being devoted to acting. Talk yourself into it. That is what this stuff's about. And this is, I'm not teaching you acting technique here. I'm teaching you success mindset, which is what this workshop's about. Talk yourself into it. That is the work. The more what brain science has realized in the past few decades, that thought patterns are electromagnetic. The more you think, you get more of. Whatever you think, you get more of. So it may be difficult to convince yourself. I'm saying you've got to spend tonight after this workshop, spend some time just thinking about your acting success, your future. And to begin with, you might not believe it. You probably won't believe it if you haven't practiced it that much. So, but the more you do this, and all it is like taking time out. You don't need to tell anyone what you're doing, but just the more you indulge in this habit, you attract more and more thoughts along this line, and it will become easier and easier. And the more you practice thinking of your success, expecting your success, visualizing your success, you're going to believe it. And one thing you're going to constantly hear me say tonight, the body follows the mind. This is the coaching that Olympic gymnasts and Olympic gold medalists have. It's not all on the racetrack. It's not all in the swimming pool. So much of it is about, the sort of positive visualization. You practice yourself. You practice visualizing your future before it's happened, and the body follows the mind. You would just find yourself, when you're given an acting opportunity, you'll just step up. It's call it inspired action or whatever. You would just move in the direction of what you've asked for, of what you want for your life. It's phenomenal how the mind controls our lives. So yeah, talk about it, even if it's not happened yet. Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you read his autobiography, Total Recall, he manifested, and that's it, Rick, you've heard of this stuff before. You manifest in the physical realm what you've been practicing chronically in the mental realm. Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing this. He was born in a backwater Austrian village. I can't even say the name of the town. He was a million miles from Hollywood, and he just kept talking at the school bus stop while he was a 9-year-old with his mates that he was going to be a Hollywood star. Everyone thought he was crazy. How do we know? How does the world know of Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's been a Hollywood star. He achieved that dream. He just believed it. And the thing is, don't try and work out the way forward, how this works. It is the universe takes care of that. And that is another concept that we'll move on to in a moment. You've got to believe you are supported and protected. Everything in the universe is energy. We're all made of the same, atomic makeup. And what quantum physics is realizing now, that the perspective and expectation of the observer, the belief and expectation of the observer actually affects the tiny atomic molecules and forms them to move and form into physical forms. So your chronic belief in yourself and your future will eventually manifest that. And that is, my life is I started this work in 2009. I'm amazed at what has happened to me and what's happening to me now in this field through just using this, believing. Okay, so yeah, how do you know you're doing the work right? You're getting excited. It's the emotional indicators. You're excited. When you believe you can't achieve your dreams, that hurts, that causes you pain, but you can shift it by just your mental focus. Nothing needs to change in your immediate physical world and your reality, but you just change the focus of your mind to believing it, expecting it, getting excited about it. And your physical feeling, your emotional state, your feeling state is going to change. You're going to feel more energized, more buzzy, more connected with what you want, who you are. You're going to find your health will improve. The more you do this, you're going to find you need less sleep. People around you that aren't going to do this are going to notice the sort of energetic and attitudinal change in you. And they're going to go, what is going on in your life? Why are you suddenly a lot happier? And it's because you've chosen to believe in your future. Never face reality. Everyone else on the planet is facing their immediate reality. Look how that's working out. The great pioneers, the Wright brothers that created airplanes in the sky, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as I've talked about, all the great achievers, the one thing they're doing is they're looking past their immediate reality, focusing on a yet to manifest future, which they've reached already in their mind, and they're alive, full stop. That is what they are. How's this sound to everyone? Does this sound good? Let me know. Or does it sound a bit crazy? I can understand if it sounds crazy, but this is the work. Let me know in the chat, or if you want to talk in a moment. Rick, thanks for your thumbs up. Yeah, so as everything, including your acting success, is all about your belief. Your body in action will follow the mind in thought. You're going to find brilliant. You're going to find, thanks, Adante, you're going to find yourself moving forward. It's not going to happen immediately. There needs to be some kind of build-up of energy, but you're going to feel it first. You're going to feel this, and then you're going to find yourself moving forward. Hopefully in 10 years, 15 years time, even before then, if you really focused on this, you can track me down and say, Steve, you were the guy that told me to do this. Thank you so much. Look where I am today. If any of you are feeling stuck or procrastinating in regards to your acting career right now, that is okay. Forgive yourself. Don't think you're doing anything wrong. All it is it's a sign, an indicator that you haven't been doing enough of what I've just spoken about. And you can change that from this moment forward. As I said, as soon as this call finishes, start practicing this. Just visualize your future. Imagine yourself winning an Oscar. I did that on my last workshop. I went through some exercises you can do to shift your focus, help practice your focus. That's available online. If you join our meetup group, and I'll put the link in the chat at the end, you can access past links to past workshops. So yeah, so this is what you do if you're feeling stuck. Your work from this point onwards then is to visualize, focus on the destination, not the how is it going to happen and how will I afford it. Let the universe sort that out. If you can start visualizing your future acting success for just say 3 minutes a day, first of all, then as you get more used to it, it becomes habitual. Build it to 5 minutes a day. Aim for like 15 minutes a day. Okay, if you can, you're going to, the indicator straight away would be that you'll feel better. You're going to start feeling better about this. Okay, let's just see. How's everyone doing? Are you getting this? Nugget of wisdom number 2 be specific about what kind of actor you want to be, whether it's a Hollywood star, a jobbing actor, a hand actor, you know, there's hand artists, theater actor. You know, the universe will give you what you ask, because you need to be specific. At the moment, I don't mind sharing this. I've been working on an interactive drama serial, and I've been saying to my team of writers that I'm working with, Netflix, we're going to Netflix. I want the world to see this. Netflix is the way forward. Forgetting the UK, BBC and Amazon Prime and Apple TV, Netflix. So much Netflix stuff is manifesting. It's phenomenal. I was talking with the producer on Thursday, and I said, have you got a link to Netflix? Yeah, of course I have. It's phenomenal when the physical world starts to mirror back what you've been talking about and asking. It's almost like you've stumbled across the secret trick to making life work for you. Everyone else around you is talking about what they don't want. They're moaning, they're complaining. They're getting more of it because they're feeding it energy. They're talking about it. If you start talking about what you want, we can do that in the next part of this segment. Maybe you can all come on and just talk about, start doing this work now instead of hiding behind your Zoom screens. It's phenomenal what life starts to do, and you start to enjoy it and you relax because you realize it's not about action. It's about sort of mental intention. It's all the work of the mind. Okay, so start deciding, be specific about what kind of actor you want to be. Define what you want to stand for. If you think of Oprah Winfrey, Denzel Washington, they're very specific. Let me see. I've got I'm not going to try and share it because my Zoom, actually I will. Let me see if I can share the screen. There's a brilliant Denzel Washington video, which, yeah, I'm going to share it with you now. Okay, watch this. He talks about this.
Being on the stage, the amount of training we have had, you know, Sidney Poitier, I was very fortunate. In fact, he came no, I talked to him before that, but I think it was when we came to Soldier's Play. And he said, "You're good."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and wow. I got a part in a movie in 1986. I called it The Nigga They Couldn't Kill. Oh. Yeah, he was supposed to be, he raped a white woman, and they tried to electrocute him, but it didn't work. And he became sort of a cult hero. No, not that one. That was the other awful one. But and then they tried to hang him, and they tried to do all this stuff. And I had a lot of training day in me. And there were some Jewish people in the audition, and I said, yeah. They said, no, it's funny. It's like they hang them and then they can't. I said, yeah, like you bring some Jewish people into a room and they think it's a shower, but it's gas. Oh. And they said, right. I said, right. That ain't funny. Mm. So to me, it wasn't funny about putting a rope around my MFN neck either. I made a point. The guy was like, who the hell is this little nigga talking like this? So anyway, make a long story long, I called Sidney, and I was sick because he told me to call him. If I said, man, they offered me $600,000 to play the nigga they couldn't kill. And he said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. He said, I'm not going to tell you that, Denzel. He says, but I can tell you this. The first 2 or 3 or 4 films you do in this business will dictate how you're perceived in this business. Mm-hmm. So you make a decision. You know, he didn't tell me what to do, and I give him credit for that. And I turned it down, and 6 months later, I got Cry Freedom and got an Oscar nomination. So it could have gone an entirely, you know, you never know. Mm-hmm. It could have gone, my whole career could have gone an entirely different way, well, in a different way.
Okay, Ms. Davis?
And all the Jewish people now, just making a point. But I was dead serious about that because they were laughing. Everything. Like, oh no, it's funny. They electrocute him, and then I could just see the poster with me with a rope around my neck. You know, I just had dreams about it. Like,
I have a question.
That wacky guy they tried to kill.
Yeah, so how was that? That's Denzel Washington. Yeah, so he was saying the first few films that you do define how you're perceived by the public. But he stood up for what he believed in. He wanted to give, obviously, a positive representation of black males, not the cliche stereotype of being rapists and killers and criminals. And yeah, I would say as an actor, especially if you've got big aspirations, which Ricky shared, he wants to be on Broadway in Hollywood. Define now and start acting now towards what you want to be, what you want to share with the world, what message or gift you want to bring to the world. With acting, with any kind of like high profile role, you've got influence, you're a role model. And I don't think a lot of people realize this. You've got a responsibility, but I don't mean that in a heavy way. I just mean that in a, that you've got a chance to impact on the world and make a real impact. And decide right now while you've got time, because when you're up there and you're on a red carpet and you've got the press asking you questions, you haven't really got time to make that decision about, what do I actually stand for? Decide now what you're going to stand for. You may already have done that personally with yourself, and be a mouthpiece for that. Demonstrate that. Let your work, your art represent that in everything you do. I think it's so important. Look at Oprah, her stuff. She always does the kind of empowerment stuff. She wants to really raise the world, raise conscious awareness of how good the world is. When so much of the media is negative and destructive and robbing us of all hope. Dare to be authentic. So this is when I teach my screen acting, you are a unique individual. And I don't know what your drama training has taught you so far, but your job as an actor, when I teach you, is that you have to tap into your unique self and your unique personality and your unique life experience and bring that to your performance, bring that to the world. Don't try and mimic other actors. Don't try and mimic what you see on TV. I think that admittedly, I think when you start out and you're exploring your kind of artistic voice, trying to find your voice, trying to find who you are, you do that. That's almost just, the train leaving the station, you getting your running shoes on and getting familiar with the process. But the more you do it, and this is where, to be a great actor, you have to act. You just have to act, even if it's in some rubbishy amateur theatre production of something dodgy that no one's ever going to see. Don't worry about that. See that as part of your training. Just act. And the more you act, the more you calibrate the brain. It's all about creating neuron pathways, which are only created through repetition of any behavior. And the more we repeat processes, any activity, it just becomes habitual, and we can do it without thinking. Those of you that have passed your driving test, that's how you learned to drive a car. You just repeatedly took driving lessons and repeated until you could do it almost unconsciously. And that's how you probably now drive. You're more focused on listening to the radio than paying attention to the road, because you've equipped your brain through repetition to be able to drive well. You're instinctive. And again, that is what acting is. It's an instinctive, you're responding instinctively to what's happening around you. Yes, the more you can just train and become and act. And they even say, like I've said, the Olympic gold medalists, not all their training is on the track. If you can visualize yourself acting, visualize yourself in your mind receiving an Oscar and doing your Oscar speech, saying what you stand for and what this film represented, then that is part of the work. You're calibrating your brain to instinctively do this. Dare to share your unique self and experience with the world through your acting. Dare to be authentic. So many people on. Okay, nugget number 3, this is along similar line to that. Contribute and share to the world. Don't be an ego and take. I've worked with a lot of actors that are of that mindset. It's repellent. You never want to work with them again. And they become disruptive on set. They're all about them, when they're on a studio floor. And, there's with film and TV acting, so much is focused on technicals. And, you need to give time to the lighting rig being moved, or if it's a special effects scene, the technical aspects being set up, ready, for when we go live, and to be part of the final broadcast show. And while that's happening there's some actors on set, and you can get successful actors do this as well. They say, I'm bored, what about me? And as if it's all about them. they're almost like petulant children. It's like, no, hang on a minute. When we're rolling, everyone's focus is on you. But while we're setting up the next shot, the next take, the focus is on these other artists that are part of the production. And, you know, don't be ego, don't be me, give them time. It's pretty embarrassing sometimes when you see people behaving like that, or they, you know, start to think, oh, I'm better than, I know it all. And that's repellent. Never be like that. Ego is a sign of fear, I think, that you're worried about the competition, as Rick said, and that's a defense mechanism that you think, oh, I can convince them that I can hide my fear by being this arrogant person. I think to be a great actor and a great star, you have to dare to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to be emotionally naked. And that takes a lot of practice, a lot of skill, and takes years to get there. I think the great actors are just very free and giving and willing to share themselves where the ego actors aren't. So yeah, so decide, what are you uniquely going to bring to the table as you are an actor. If you're a product, ultimately you will be, what is your unique selling point? Think of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey has defined himself in the acting world with his hilarious comedy. And I'm going to talk about the motivation for where his comedy come from in a bit, because that is the last nugget of wisdom. But it's interesting, all the great actors are doing what he's doing. Yes, define what your unique selling point is going to be. You've got to, as you climb the ladder and get more successful, you're going to have to learn to manage your time. And Steve Jobs said, success is learning to say no. You have to start disciplining yourself. And, you know, you might get an invite to a party or want to go where all your friends are going and family. And yet, if you know you've got an audition, if you know you've got to prep, you've got to turn those things down and say, no, I've got to give my time to my art and be serious about your success. One big thing as well, this comes on to the next one, sort out your shit. As I said, all artists, they've been through some kind of trauma. Don't be afraid to go and get therapy, confront your demons, embrace and end up loving them. Okay, it's such an important part of being the artist, being a successful, authentic, you know, intelligent artist. You've got to know yourself and have known how you dealt with yourself and be comfortable in yourself. Those artists that you read about, you know, the ones that turn to drink and drugs, they haven't. They've got huge imposter syndrome going on within them. They feel, my God, when is the world going to find out I'm not what I say I am? And that's when they, you know, that pressure, the stress, which someone mentioned earlier, they're creating that themselves mentally. And that's when they turn to drink and drugs to try and block that out. But as we all know, doesn't last long. Nugget number 4, love yourself in the work. Okay. You cannot get anywhere in life without having huge love for what you're doing and the world around you. And I want to show you now, there is, just try and find it. There is this stuff I'm teaching you now. It's come from all the happiness teachings come from the teachings of Abraham Hicks. Okay, let me share this screen. And if you can see, this is the emotional scale. Okay, there's an emotional scale. This is great. I use this with my actors as well. Okay, right at the bottom is fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. And you feel those states. And then right at the top is joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love. The only way stuff can manifest in the world is if it's near the top. Okay, and I've been talking about some of these states. Look, enthusiasm is number 3, happiness, positive expectation, belief is number 4. That is when you're close to achieving your dreams. You have to love yourself, love the world, love what you're doing. If you're doing acting and resenting the work you got to put into it, you're not going to be successful. Okay, you got to love it. You hear so many actors say, I never wanted to be successful, I just wanted to be the best actor I could be, because they loved it. They loved the craft. Too many people that want to be famous go on those reality TV shows, be be famous for 5 minutes and then vanish. It is all about how your attitude ultimately towards the world. No drama school can teach you this. Drama schools teach you technique. They don't teach you self-love. You have to be so resilient especially now with this Instagram culture. It's hypercritical. There's a lot of really negative people, haven't got any love in their life. And the only way they can cope with that is to project their hatred and their self-loathing onto others. And they're doing that with a lot of successful people, a lot of, all this internet trolling. That is what that is about. If you've got to be resilient against that. And the only way you can do that is to practice self-love. The way you do that is to find thoughts that feel good. This is my happiness coaching kicking in now. But if you can find thoughts that feel good about yourself, about your acting career, about your acting talent, you're going to build a loving energy within you that brings resilience to all the sort of slings and arrows that the world can throw in your direction. Okay, focus on being the best that you can be. Success is a byproduct of talent and ability. Okay, go on to nugget number 5 now. So all of us, as I've said, we artists, they've all been knocked and bruised by life. I'm saying this, you're instantly going to know what I'm talking about. You don't need to share it. But that thing, that part of you that you're ashamed of, afraid of, or that trauma that's happened to you, that you are spending a lot of energy trying to hide and deny, that is the secret to your success, okay? It's what you need to embrace and tap into in your art. And this is quoting, there's a new Netflix film coming out next month called The Harder They Fall. And it's a Black Western. And I was at an event on Thursday with a lot of the actors and the director. They said this. I was shocked. I was like, wow, okay, this is what I teach. But they were saying this, that thing, that pain within you, that trauma that you at the moment you're trying to deny, that is the petrol of your success. If you can tap into that, you will unlock huge energy that is going to bring you success. I said earlier on, like, define what you stand for. It could be that. If you've been an abused kid, in whatever shape, mental abuse or emotional abuse, you can tap into that again and again in your acting. That will bring you authentic emotion that the audience is going to feel. That is going to make you stand out as an actor. A lot of drama schools don't teach this. This is method acting. And in the UK particularly, it's still about, classic imitation, pretending to be emotional. You have to feel it now, even films where that are 40 years old, that the actor was using method acting techniques. We can watch a film that was filmed 40 years ago and still feel the authenticity of the actor's emotion, where if they're faking it, we know straight away. We know straight away now. There's so many good actors out there that are brave enough to tap into themselves and share that with the world. When there's actors that don't do that, it straight away. Okay, so how does that sound? So we're about on track and 20 minutes left. Have any of you got any questions? Want to share anything? Put it in the chat, anything that stands out. You don't need to talk to me. It would be really good if you were willing to. Does any of this make sense, or is it what you were expecting? Let me know. Start chatting away. Rick, if I can ask you, can I come to you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, good. You don't have to show you. So how did that sound? Because you said you're representing your drama school when we spoke earlier. Is that, what are you going to take back to them and say?
Yeah, so obviously I am in technically a drama school. It's more theater based. But this obviously it goes hand in hand with what we learn, because in school we'll learn the techniques, but they won't really focus on the mindset behind it. So most of the notes that I've written to take back into class are about positivity, feeling the impulse of when you can see yourself moving forward in your career. And these aren't things that they would teach in class. They would teach you acting techniques. So I'm definitely going to bring back the mindset part of it to help my classmates feel it
Cool.
internally, both externally as well.
That is the foundation of any success, whether you want to be a politician or whether you want to be anything. It is, you have to have a firm foundation, a firm mindset. And yeah, I don't know. There's certainly the UK drama schools don't teach that. It's kind of, because it can't be accredited. You can't accredit mindset. So it's like 1 or 2 workshops around those topics. And it is the foundation for any success, really. That's where the success rate of actors is so low. And that's where a lot of the actors that we see, certainly in the UK, they're the sons or daughters or family members of fellow successful actors, because they've had that inside knowledge. They can say, they believe that you can be successful in the field because they've seen their relatives achieve success as well. So the belief is there, but ultimately they've been able to have that knowledge of that the rest of the world isn't given. What I'd say about the positive stuff, positive thinking, it is about finding the thought that feels good. That shows you've tapped into a definite energy source. If you just think it's going to be a lovely, happy day, but there's no emotional shift in you, as soon as you're confronted with the challenge, like if someone's rude to you or whatever, you're going to be knocked back to where you were. Whereas if you can practice thoughts that feel good, you're recalibrating the brain, you're raising your personal energy. And the more you do that, the more resilient you become to the bruising of the world. So you just don't, it's not that you stop caring, because, that's almost quite negative, but you don't let other people's opinions hurt you, because you've created a resilience within you, and it's all created mentally. Anyone else want to share anything? Dante, you've been quite vocal on the chat.
Yeah, Dante's. Yeah. Hi, Stephen. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Where are you coming in from? Where are you?
London.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm in London. I'm in West London. Which part are you in?
North London.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you? Which part? I used to live in North London.
Beg your pardon?
Which part of North London?
West Hampstead.
Okay. Yeah. I was in Southgate and Enfield years ago.
Oh, okay. Nice. Where are you based now?
In Willesden Junction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not too far.
Not that far. No.
Yeah.
Not too far. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have any expectations, to be honest. But I was quite surprised with your approach, when you mentioned energy and quantum physics and all that. I can definitely relate to that, because that's my, in a way, I've been trying to put that into my life.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can totally relate to that. And it's not a matter of you being right, it's how it works, really.
Yeah.
Obviously you have to believe, but yeah, I mean, the belief system is something that can come in the way of believing in whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. If I could just so I'll pick up on that point. We all believe something, so why not believe in a direction that works for you? If you can believe the world is a rubbish place, that's going to manifest. So if you flip, and that's going to cause you pain.
Definitely.
And a lot of people have taken that belief from what they've seen on the TV. And again, I was talking about repetition builds belief. The television, if you watch the news every night, it's telling you the world is crap, the world is crap, the world is.
I don't watch television. I don't watch TV.
Never watch television. That's my advice. If you are going to start managing your focus and your success level, start being really conscious of what influences you're letting shape your life. I read the daily newspapers just for storyline ideas. I don't believe any of the main headlines. I know we're manipulated, but I would just say, it sounds quite twee, but believe the best in everything.
definitely.
because it's moving
Yeah.
towards love on the emotional scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry
And
to
I mean,
interrupt.
it's no, 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 not at all. I didn't interrupt. It's a conversation. I mean, love generates love, hate generates hate. Simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's a matter of perspective. Life in general depends how what's your perspective from life. How do you see life, and then you can apply that to yourself. How do you see yourself within this world, and apart from all negativity, if you have a positive mindset, you know, you can, if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish whatever what you set your mind to, really.
it is
But
that.
obviously easy said than done, isn't it? But
Well, I was going to
the
say
formula.
how you get to believe in yourself. Again, this was raised at this Netflix event. With these top Hollywood actors and top Hollywood directors, they shared the secret, and it is what I teach. It is you practice positive visualization and expectation about your life. That is it. People that don't, the more you practice that, and that is, you've got complete control of that. Your parents or your friends or your co-workers or your teachers could have an opinion on you, but you don't need to let that
Influence
your
you.
belief in yourself. Unfortunately, when we're unaware of the power of the mind, when we're young kids, we let that shape us. And it's interesting how many people, their perception of themselves is based on who they were at age 5, and they've never changed it.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can relate to all that. Yeah.
How did it feel when I was going on about the stuff about embracing your biggest wound kind of thing? How did that resonate? Could you relate to that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a limbo where that's my approach to a role. I believe you always bring something from within you in your real life, and then you adapt to the character, and depends on what the direction the director wants the character to take, or the choices you've made for the audition. And but definitely I think we always, I mean, I was navigating your website, and I saw there's some images about the Chabak technique. Is it Chabak?
Yeah, that's the stuff I teach. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You teach the Chabak?
Yeah. I trained with her, and she transformed the way I teach drama. It was funny because the kind of spiritual stuff came afterwards, and I realized it was the same as what she was teaching acting, and I was like, wow, okay. Where it's about, the focus of the mind creates emotion, and that emotion for actors creates behavior, which becomes your performance.
And I'm naturally emotional. I'm very emotional, so that's not kind of an issue to me. As I said, the learning my lines is my main issue, but that's because I have ADHD and dyslexia at the same time.
Okay.
So it takes me a bit more time to to learn my lines and to get into the focus mindset.
One thing I've learned, it helps me. I used to have a stammer. I still slightly do have a stammer.
Yeah.
And it kind of locks me, if I have to talk it. And I found if you associate a physical movement with a line, it creates almost a memory.
Yeah. I do that.
And you can trigger, it gets you past, activates the
kinesthetic.
Yeah.
I do all that. Yeah. I record my lines as well, I do all that. But it takes extra, because it's basically related to the working memory.
Right, okay.
So short-term memory. So yeah.
You know what, actually, I'm hearing you say this, that could actually work in your favor, because I've met a lot of aspiring actors that are ultimately lazy, and the laziest ones are the ones that they instantly can look at a script and know their lines straight away, and they end up performing the first idea they had rather than exploring it. And so if you're struggling to learn lines, that can give you more room to maneuver and explore the text.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think would pay off for you, because it is, you know, because I'm a producer and as well as a writer, and and I've auditioned actors, and you have the writers and directors, they always have an idea of what they want for the character. But when you're auditioning, if someone can walk in the room and throw your idea completely on its head, that can be so exciting.
Definitely. I agree with that.
And you can only do that, I think, if you're if you've explored the text and you haven't just looked at it, you know, because every script people can go, oh yeah, I know how this should be played, and you do the obvious, whereas the actor, that's really, and this is the big stars, you know, they look to do the not obvious, they
see things that the majority doesn't see. Definitely.
Definitely. And that comes through putting more effort more thought into it ultimately.
Definitely. But on the other hand, is it can be quite exhausting energy wise, you know, because my mind is always if you don't, let's say that you're directing me, if you don't say, Adante, stop, I will just carry on and on in the loop, you know. With different ideas or whatever. In a way, it can enrich, you know, the project or whatever, but I think sometimes I'm aware that sometimes it's a bit too much. So
I would say as a mindset coach, see yourself as perfect. See yourself, you're a unique individual, whatever the God force or whatever you believe in, as you are, and you are perfect in who you are. And that skill is going to be, and you know, you're following your heart by wanting to be an actor, and all the traits you've been given are perfect for what you're moving towards. So I think so much stress, and again, you know, I think it may have been yourself actually, you put in the chat about stress. Stress is, we create it ourselves through negative judgment, and it's only our individual perspective on a situation. And when I do happiness coaching, I teach, if we can learn, and it takes practice, we can learn to see every moment as perfect, which means it's free of judgment. We just relax and we enjoy ourselves more. And, you know, whereas when you are judging, or when you're talking yourself into a situation you don't want, that's when you create stress. And stress is a negative emotion, isn't it? It's like a tension in the body.
And definitely.
You know you're stressed through how you feel.
And it creates blockages as well. And, and Stephen, you mentioned a sentence it's key for me, that you said we should follow our heart. And I mean, there's no way it can go wrong if we follow our heart, and that's and I mean, doing with love. There's no way it can go wrong. However, talking about myself, in a way, you need to get the balance, find the balance between the heart and the mind, isn't it? Otherwise, I just go to emotional, you know.
Okay.
So that's where the director, you know, pulls up the wipe and Adantes, shut up, you know, or stop, or you know, It's just a matter of knowing ourselves deeply, and being able to, you know, to be a balanced person, basically, I think. But definitely,
but you sound like you're able to, you know, it is about being emotional on set. It is, especially the big scenes. And if you can't, and that's what directors are looking for. And if you can't deliver authentic emotion, then, you know, there's a block there for actors, that they're not willing to be vulnerable. And so they're not, have they done the work, or do they really want to be actors, or do they just want to be center of attention? I think it's two different things.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, you sound good. Anyone else want to come in on this conversation? We've got 5 minutes left. Can you all share in the chat, or share with me verbally what one nugget of learning you're going to take away, if any? I'd be interested in that. I've just posted all the my social links in the chat.
Yeah, what's Mr. Happiness
That's
2000?
my that's my the happiness coaching, success
Oh,
mindset, positive
Oh, I see. Okay.
mindset coaching. Yeah, that's a website for that. Just to do the sales pitch on Don't Go to Drama School. It teaches you screen acting techniques. It's a mix of the Ivana Chubbuck technique plus technical screen acting techniques. A lot of drama schools in the UK particularly still teach stage acting, and you know, with I sort of say in the UK certainly theatres are being demolished now or turned into bingo halls, whereas screen acting is on the increase with Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. There's going to be more and more and more streaming platforms which are all screen based. So if you go to a traditional theatre drama school, the training can actually be out of date. So I'm making accessible to everyone screen acting techniques via my app and drama school training called Don't Go to Dramaschool.com. You get weekly, you pay monthly. It's £35 UK pounds a month. You get the first month free of charge, so you can try that out. And yeah, each week you get drip fed a different exercise. It runs for 52 weeks. And yeah, it teaches you as well. There's a lot of this mindset coaching in amongst the training as well, but it's all exercise based. The aim is you get a screen partner, you film yourselves and then upload your footage filmed on your mobile phone to a forum. And yeah, I can assess it, or you just share it with our community, and you all support each other. So it's very much a practical screen acting training that you can do in your own time. You don't need to go to drama school. So if anyone's interested in that, check it out. The link is there. So yeah, if you can let me know what your what you've learned, what you're going to take away. Rick, do you want to share? You said you're going back to your classroom, aren't you? So your class.
Yeah, I am.
What's the one thing you're gonna?
I'll definitely be talking about all of them, but in particular, probably number 5, being able to embrace your trauma, because I think that's something that, you know, not a lot of us think about.
Do you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because that was the big shift in me. And I'm here now because I was able to do that. And actually it answers, by defining that, I did kind of hit this earlier on, it answers a lot of your the other that, you know, you define what you want to represent. You define what you want to give the world. Yeah,
I think
that's brilliant.
I think our pain and trauma is something that we want to hide in our careers.
Yeah,
something we want to leave in the past. But the way you explained it, I think being able to embrace it and being able to tap into it to turn it into the factors of our success is something that I'll probably be teaching the rest of my class, because that's a great point.
And the thing is, you don't have to wear a t-shirt saying this happened to me. You just mentally acknowledge it. And do you know what, actually, just give me a moment of clarity here, just having this conversation with you now. The very reason those traumas and events are hurting us so much is because we're resisting them. We're trying to squash them down and deny them and bury them within us. And you can't do that. You know, they say what you resist persists. So once you embrace it and let it, it's almost like you let it go. Then it stops dominating your life.
Mind me just jumping in, please.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. But I think the first step might be acceptance.
Yeah,
and then from the acceptance onwards, then you embrace it, and then you overcome it, either with someone's help or on your own. Yeah. Definitely. No, it's brilliant. You're all, because this is where, you know, the acting's the kind of icing on the cake, but the cake is you, and the cake functions every day, you know, not when you're acting, but for you to be a fully functioning, competent adult human being, whatever, you need to embrace your pain. And it's so great that you're acknowledging that straight away and recognize. But then the other side of the coin is that you have to embrace the pain, but only, or eventually only to a certain level that you don't get the prejudice of, you know, you don't get affected by it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise you get too immersed in the role, and then it, you know, you may feel severe consequences of
Heath Ledger.
diving
Ledger.
deep.
Yeah.
Well,
The Joker, yeah.
Sigourney Weaver as well.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. Yeah.
I do teach in the drama. Actually, I teach meditation. I think that's the best way.
I'll do it. Yeah.
You can go, you know, as an actor, there's if you use that emotional scale, which I showed on the screen, use that, you know, some scenes you're asked to go right low, you know, depression, anger, and so you have to focus your mind on the trauma memories to take yourself there. And then as soon as the day is over and the director announces cut, as actors, you need to be able to self-manage yourself to bring your energy and who you are back to a higher loving you know, self. And that is meditation does that for you, whatever form of meditation you find. But it is so important to have tools that can help you manage yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What kind of meditation do you do, Stephen?
I do the Abraham. This is all Abraham Hicks.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the guided meditation. It's just deep breathing for 15 minutes every day.
Yeah,
I do that. I've been doing that for 11 years now. It's so
nice.
fun. So I think the mind can be a stormy sea or a calm pond, and with meditation, you can live most of your life as it being a calm pond. As actors or writers, you're asked to make it a choppy sea, so you can like focus on, you know, sort of memories or emotions or even projected, you know, potential fantastical thoughts that disturb you and disrupt it and hurt you, which then you need to, you know, use in your performance. But then as soon as cut is called, you need to be able to bring yourself back to balance and calm, and meditation is the only tool I know that does that.
Definitely. It's quite interesting that we're talking about that, because my approach to life, well, I have a very holistic approach to life, and I've also been meditating for quite a few years now, and yoga and all that. I do also Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner.
Wow. Okay.
But there was a time in my life, and that lasted, unfortunately, for quite a few years, where I was dwelling with myself whether I would achieve being, you know, a successful actor or not, because my ego was, you know, pretty high. And then I stumbled upon my a spiritual path in life, you know, so I was dwelling in which way should I go. But then I realized that no, you can go both ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both ways, you can meet them somewhere in the middle, and then that will transform you, that will propel you to, you know, call it a success or whatever, or a happy human being or whatever, you know. It's very interesting meditation. Yeah, definitely.
It's so brilliant. This conversation is shifted towards that rather than the acting.
No, but I mean, all is part of acting, isn't it?
It is.
It's yeah. This is about acting.
Acting is replicating the human experience.
Yeah,
and that's definitely when, you know, and when there's that, you know, the artist is of a certain level of intelligence and awareness, then they can give a much deeper duplication representation of life than someone that's just going in there for ego and, you know, attention. And
definitely.
Brilliant. We're going to have to wrap it up now then. So so I think so. If you go to the it's the last link actually, the meetup. I do these every month, so you can sign up on the join the meetup group. It's free, and then you'll get notification of the date and time and the topic. I don't even know what the next topic is. Maybe if you guys want to join the group and then message me and tell me what topic you'd like me to cover. That's I'll be happy to get audience feedback. And
no worries. Yeah,
cool. Thank you so much, Daryl. We didn't hear much from you, but hope you enjoyed it. Is he there?
He might be meditating
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
there.
Oh, thanks so much, everyone. And have a great evening. Hopefully, I'll see you again soon.
You too, Stephen. Take care. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, Stephen.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.